Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to try to make a beach rock. This is just a simple oval shape with rounded edges. So this is going to be super simple, but it's also super beautiful and it's going to be a great pendant. First off, we have to decide what type of wood we are using. Now, personally, I'm not too picky on the type of wood that I'm using. I just look at the grain and look for the grain patterns and see if I like it. This is wood from fruit tree, something like an apple or a plum tree. I love this wood because of the changing color, but I'm not going for this in this video. This is wood from the birch tree, as you can see by the bark. Now, this is fairly uniform. If we wanted to replicate this as much as possible, I would go for this wood. But this is also from the birch tree, but this is from a birch burl. And I really love the grain pattern of this wood. So just to make this piece and pendant just a little bit more interesting, I'm gonna go for the birch burl wood. Now we just have to make the shape of the beach rock. I'm just going to be drawing it on directly onto the wood. So here's the shape in its simplest form. Now we have to cut it out. Use whatever tool you have. I have a scroll saw, but you can also use a coping saw or a hand saw. So here's the piece. So this piece is a little bit too thick. So I'm gonna slim it down by about 1/3. Now it's about 1/2 inch and a little bit bigger than a centimeter. Good. Let's start shaping our pendants. The only bit that we are going to use in this video is going to be a rough sanding drum. This pendant is going to be very simple to shape. All we have to do is to round off all the edges to the halfway point on both sides. After that, we can just transfer to normal sandpaper to make the surface smooth. Now, we don't have to make it completely smooth with the Dremel, we just have to get the rough shape of it. And then we can continue the sanding with some of the rough sandpaper. So this is how the pendant looks after we are finished with the Dremel. Now we can start sanding with normal sandpaper. I'm going to start with 150 grit, then go to 240 and then to 400. Now in sanding you have to be really patient. It takes a long time, so grab a drink, grab a coffee, start with the lowest grit and then just work your way up to the higher grits and finer grits. This is how the pendant looks after we have finished sanding with a 150 sandpaper. Here is how the pendant looks after we are done with the sanding. Now we have to drill a hole so we can connect a chain to our pendant. I'm going to use the Dremel Stylo to drill the hole with a 2.8mm drill bit. I'm just going to clean up the edges around the hole and then we are ready for finishing. I'm using a scrap piece of rope so I can hang up the pendant while it's drying. Now the finish I'm using is a water-based acrylic lacquer with a semi-gloss to it. I will find a similar one and link it down in the description below. I simply just dip the pendant into the finish and make sure that it is completely covered, and then I shake it off a little bit and hang it up for drying somewhere. Here I'm using my tripod as a drying stand. I let it hang for about 2 hours before applying a new coat. Usually 2 or 3 coats is enough to get a good shine. Move the rope around a little bit while it's drying to avoid it from getting stuck. Here's how it looks after the first layer of finish. Let's do one more. Now, after 2 coats of finish, we are ready to attach the chain. I am going to be using a 1.5mm waxed cotton rope. That is about 1 meter or 42 inches long. Now you can just push the rope through the hole. I use this little thing right here to help me. But this hole was actually a little bit too small, so I had to use the 3.2mm drill to widen the hole. Now the rope went through with ease. To join the 2 ends, I'm using a knot called the double fisherman's knot. This knot allows me to adjust the length of the chain whenever I want to. I will leave a link to this knot in the description. And here's our final product, a beach rock pendant made from wood. And please leave a comment to let me know what I should make next time. See ya!